Okay, we're going to look at section 4.2 homework, and I had some questions about specifically problem 10 and problem 11, and I kind of ran through this before I did the video. So I do have the answers here, but I wanted to kind of go over how you could start this this problem. So one thing you could do is put all your information on paper. So from this problem, so my problem said that there were three different companies, company A and company B and company C. And then you had cars and you had trucks and then you had a total of vehicles. So what we do know is from our information we can fill this in. We have 25 vehicles that are cars. So from our list here, we know that this will total up to be 25. And then we also know that we have 10 vehicles that are company A and 14 vehicles that are company B. So 10 vehicles that are company A and 14 vehicles that are company B. And we have 2 vehicles are both company C and trucks, and 13 vehicles are company B and cars. So 2 are company C and trucks, and 13 are company B and cars. So now we can kind of fill in everything that we need to know. We know that there are a total of, I skipped this, but there are a total of 34 vehicles. So let me get on the right spreadsheet. This needs to total 34. So in order for this to total 34, this would have to be 10. Okay, and then here, company C, there's 10 total vehicles. 2 are trucks, so 8 have to be cars. And then here, we would need this to be 4 for the cars to add up to 25. For trucks, if company A has 4 cars and 10 vehicles, then 4 plus 6 would give us 10. And then we would put 1 here. So now all of this should add up. So it's kind of like filling in the blanks. So the first question I believe that was asked was, what is the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is a company C vehicle? Well, first of all, we could do a company C vehicle there are 10 of those, so you would do 10 divided by the total number of vehicles, which is 34, and so your probability would be 0.294. And then what is the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is a truck? So for a truck, we have a total of 9 trucks out of 34 vehicles. So the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is a truck would be 0.265. Now here is where it gets a little bit trickier. What is the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is either a company B or a car? Okay, so this is the way we can do that. Think company B or a car. So first of all, company B, the probability that it's a company B is there's 14 vehicles that are company B. So we would do 14 out of the total, which is 34, or a car. Okay, the easiest way for me to do this is to say Well, I've already used the 13 already, so I don't have to do it. I used it because it was part of Company B. So don't use that. Use the 4 and use the 8, which is 12 out of the total, which is 34. Okay, so if you add those together, you get 0.765. Okay, so 0.765. All right, what is the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is a Company A truck? So find Company A truck. Company A truck. There's only 6 Company A trucks. So the probability that you would select that one of those trucks, take it out of the total, and you get 0.176. 0.176. What is the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is a Company C given it is a car? Okay, so this is where it gets different. Given it is a car, we're only looking at the total number of cars. So out of 25, what is the chance that it would be Company C? It would be, the chances are 8 out of 25. When it says given it as a car, we are no longer looking at vehicles or trucks. We are only looking at cars. That is how you get the 0.32. Okay, now I do this a lot simpler than the explanation. What is the probability that a randomly selected vehicle is a truck given it is Company B? So we're only looking at Company B. So the total amount of Company B is 14, right? So what is the probability out of the 14 that it would be a truck? Well, you have one truck out of Company B vehicles, so you would get 0.071. Let me find myself here. Okay. And then it says construct a decision tree for these events. The probability that it is a truck, the probability of it that it's a car. I just kind of went through here and used my truck and A. Okay, you go through and you the probability that it's a truck is, let me just show you that real quick. The probability that it is a truck is 9 out of 34. So if you do 9 divided by 34, you get 0.265. So that is where I got that. The probability that it is a truck and A, okay, the probability that it is a truck and its Company A is 6 out of 34. So 6 out of 34 would be 0.176. Okay, and then the probability that it's a truck in B, you would go to Company B and see how many trucks there are and divide it by 34. And then you would go to Company C and see how many trucks they are and divide it by 34. Then you would go to Company A here, see how many cars there are and divide it by 34. Go to Company B, see how many cars they are and divide it by 34. Go to Company C and see how many cars there are and divide it by 34. And then the probability that it is a car, the way you get that is there are 25 cars out of 34 vehicles, so 0.735. So that is how you work problem number 10. Problem number 11. What is the probability the team will run the ball and it is first down? You have to make you a chart again, kind of like we just did on the earlier one. And you have to basically fill it out the same way. I will work this problem in another video because I don't want to run out of time while I'm working in the middle of it. Of course, you can see I went through this fast and did this backwards, so I'll explain why I missed that. So I will only work problem 10 in this video.